And welcome back to our From the Bench podcast, live from the Millstone Family Restaurant. Clayson Davis, your host here at the Millstone Family Restaurant, as we're back after our holiday break with the 4th of July and all the happenings with the summer that's going on. And we're back to talk about some more Spearfish Post 164 baseball here with this episode. It's episode 24 of our From the Bench podcast series, coming up on our 1-year anniversary of the podcast. That will be in the fall when we go back to discussing some football, volleyball, other fall sports that are escaping the top of my mind right now. And again, still got baseball to talk about here with the summer months. We're in the dog days of summer here in the northern Black Hills. It is very warm outside, and we get to be in the cool air conditioning of our beautiful venue here at the Millstone Family Restaurant. As we interviewed earlier this podcast series, two seniors from Post 164. Today we catch up with the third one. Owen Bruner joins us here at the Millstone Family Restaurant. Owen, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
And also, since he's about 2 more episodes away from becoming our co-host for this podcast, Coach Parker Laux also joins us here in the studio as well, as he just likes to be on air and coaching baseball.
Yeah, sure.
So, and also our camera guy who is fixing a lot of our technical difficulties today, Paul James, also still joining us here with the Millstone Family Restaurant From the Bench podcast. So we might as well just jump right on into it. Owen, catcher, senior catcher here for 164. Have you always wanted to be a catcher?
No, actually. So it actually is a funny story. In Little League first year, one of my coaches, he asked who wants to be a catcher, and little me, I thought he said who wants to be a pitcher. I raised my hand. He throws me in the gear, and it honestly was just instantly fun. And so it was kind of an accident, but it was a good one, I suppose.
You know, sometimes the best careers start when you don't expect it.
Yeah.
And what was your first thought when you were getting all of the catcher gear put on, thinking that you were going to pitch instead you're going to have pitches beamed at your face for your career?
It was like a little annoying almost, maybe. I was like, dang it, what did I get myself into? But I quickly learned to enjoy it, and yeah.
I don't think very many Little League kids grow up wanting to be a catcher. I didn't play baseball, so I never had that experience. But so far, you think it's been as of now, it looks like it's worked out pretty well for you being the catcher for 164. Would you go back and change anything as far as position-wise in your baseball journey?
No, not at all. It has been my favorite thing to do the last 6 years. So,
Coach Laux, question for you, but what do you think about having Bruner as your catcher for the past how many seasons for Post 164?
It's been absolutely fantastic because he, like Carter Lyon was a coach on the field for me. He's also the same. He's the coach on the field. He's able to control the pitching staff. And so it's nice to have another voice on the field able to control things out there.
And the catcher, I'm a big football guy, so I kind of related to it like this. Would you say it's like the quarterback of the of the baseball team as far as be able to calling out the pitches and stuff like that, or just how does the catcher play into the strategy when it comes to baseball?
Well, the catcher is the only player on the field that's facing that way. Everybody else faces this way. And so they're able to see the entire field, and they know exactly what's going to happen. And so really, you are the quarterback back there. You control the game. You control what's going on. You can see when guys are running, what they're going to do. You can help the pitcher out. And so, yeah, Owen's the quarterback.
Fair enough. And again, Owen Bruner, senior catcher, part of the 164 year. You have pitched in 1,000 innings in your caught in 1,000 innings in your career. So you hit that milestone earlier this summer, having your name being announced at Black Hills Energy Stadium, saying that you have caught in over 1,000 innings in your Legion career.
See, it didn't really feel like it. Just 1,000 innings is pretty hard to comprehend. So it was a cool moment, and I felt very appreciative.
start as far as accumulating those? Did that count with part of the junior legion? Was this only senior legion, or where did that milestone kind of start?
I believe it was from
A lot of baseball games that were to happen.
Yeah.
But no, super cool. And yeah, you've been a staple from behind the plate for, ever since tweeners, and really don't see that a lot in baseball. I wouldn't catch 1,000 innings. Do you know of anyone else who's had that feat?
No, not really. I'm sure there is some
I think
guys.
Carter probably got to it, but
Yeah,
we don't
probably,
know.
yeah.
I mean, we just didn't keep track of the stats as well. But we're there now.
Did you know that you were approaching that 1,000 inning mark before it was announced?
Yeah, my dad was counting, but I really didn't think about it too much. But my dad definitely knew of it. So.
Well, that's awesome. Last night, you guys were over in Rapid City and took on a Post 320 Stars for the second doubleheader of the season. Got the win in Game 1. 6-4 was what my total was, and that's what it had on the scoreboard at Pete Lean Memorial Field. So talk about that Game 1 performance yesterday versus the Stars, being able to avenge one of those two losses that you guys played against them last Thursday.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I think we battled from the start. It was really just they score, we score, back and forth, and then we finally were able to just win it cleanly, and we got over a little bit of adversity, and we battled through and got it. So it felt good to win that one.
Coach, your opinion of last night's Game 1?
Take some pressure off. It was really good. That's exactly how we need to play. We played clean. Made a couple mistakes early, but got rid of them, moved on. And like Owen said, it was adversity the whole time. We're in the game. It's a battle. There was no, moment where it felt like you were, not on the edge of your seat for the whole game. But we were able to keep our emotions in check and come out with a win.
And I know, Coach, you and I have talked multiple times throughout this summer, but it seems like you keep telling me that your team is just right there, just one play away. And it seems like in the past few weeks, you guys have found a way to almost let an opportunity slip by that either leads to a close loss or gives the other team momentum at a timely matter of the game. That didn't happen in Game 1 yesterday. Any time that 320 had a little bit of momentum, had runners on base, the defense came to play. So talk about being able to see that effort from your ball club after so many times this year. It seems like that moment has gone the other way.
Yeah, I look at, multiple moments. One of the first moments is Jack Scharf. We got runners on first and second, one out. He gets a bunt down. We get him over, and Tucker comes through with a nice two-run single. That puts us in the lead, and that kind of gave us the momentum. And then, 2 outs, guy on, we're making a play, a tough defensive play to get out of an inning. Even when it goes to like Owen back, in the day, we got a runner on third, 2 outs. Ball in the dirt, our pitcher executes because we don't want to put that pitch in the zone, and he's able to block it, keep it in front. Those moments are huge, and that's what really won us the game, because we're able to just slow the game down and not let these tiny, minute mistakes just snowball into something else.
Lost Game 2 16-6 last night as well, but again, that was the 320 had their big heavy hitters out last night as well, so on their senior night. And now you guys end the season here at home. You got Casper, Wyoming coming up next Tuesday right here on KDSJ-TV as well. But going back to just kind of the challenges this year, and I know, Coach, again, you and I have talked about a lot of them as far as finishing close games. There's been almost a few times where you guys felt like you've been snake bit as well. But from Owen, I want your perspective of this year's challenges. You've had a lot of younger players step up into key roles, not only in the infield, right field, but also on the mound. So you've had to catch a lot of different pitches from a lot of different throwers this season. Talk about some of the challenges that you've had to face with this year's ball club.
Yeah, it's definitely a younger team, so there's a lot of struggles with just less just experience, I guess. There's just guys who haven't been in that situation before, so just certain mental mistakes happen here and there, and just they just haven't had the experience in those moments. And so a lot of the challenges have just been not like rolling over and dying in like hard positions, and and then some other challenges is just being able to finish the game. We've been able to play really good up until like 6th, 7th inning, and then it just one thing happens, and sometimes it snowballs, sometimes it doesn't, and it's kind of 50-50 sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And Coach, question for you: how is it as far as developing your pitching staff for next year, whether that be for high school baseball or for Legion baseball? How important is it to have younger players being able to pitch to a experienced catcher like Bruner this season?
It's huge. I know from my experience as a pitcher and as a catcher, when I was on the mound and I had a guy catching me that I was a little nervous about throwing the ball in the dirt, or not being able to calm me down, be on the same page. I was scared to death. I felt like I had to do everything myself. I had to blow fastballs by him. And that's not going to happen. Sorry, I don't care how fast you throw, you're not going to do it at the high school level. So for these young kids to be able to throw to someone like Owen and know that, they can throw a ball in the dirt and he'll block it, he'll keep them in check. That's huge. It's huge for confidence. It's huge for, your development of what your pitches are. And that is only going to, help us and these kids and well as the team going forward.
Has there ever been a moment for either of you guys that, yes, you have Bruner back there being the backstop, having some younger players have that kind of mulligan this first year as far as wild pitches being able to be stopped? Does there ever get to a moment where Bruner, either you or Coach, you have to go up to your pitcher and be like, look, I understand just because I can make that play doesn't mean I want to keep making them. Can you please start throwing strikes?
Owen?
Not really. I kind of, with younger guys, I like to be able to calm them down. I like for them to have confidence in me, and so I try the best I can to let them know that if they make mistakes, it's my job to block them, and it's my job to help them. So especially some guys they'll throw a dirt ball and they'll tap their chest and be like, my bad, and I'm like, no, it's my job to help you. So just go up there and try to do your best, but you don't have to stress about throwing dirt balls or something like that.
Owen, you have a very good answer to that question. Now I'm interested to see how you answer that question, as if you get on a pitcher about can you help out our senior catcher just a little bit?
Matters how old they are. With the young guys, I'm like, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to throw. But, for guys that I have that are, more experienced on the mound, they just start throwing balls in the dirt. Yeah, I might go out there and go, all right, you've missed 6 pitches in a row. Maybe it's time to make the adjustment. Look somewhere else in the target. We got to do something else. But for the young guys, he's got them. And honestly, with the older guys, he's got him. That's why I got him out there. I mean, like I said, he's the coach on the field. I don't have to waste a trip to the mound. I know that he will do it either on the mound in the game or we'll go into the dugout and he'll talk to them.
Now, I don't know if very many people really understand quite the life of a catcher as far as throughout your development. I'm sure you're probably still trying to work on hitting and making an impact on offense, but on defense, what does the training look like as far as how do you improve in being a catcher?
So a lot of it starts with our indoor stuff in the winter. So we'll start with just drills and blocking drills. Receiving is just a huge factor for catching, being able to steal pitches. So all of that starts getting worked on in the winter. And then once we get into bullpens, that's when a lot of the real in-game stuff will come to fruition, because you'll start getting your mechanics down and it'll just help you develop from there.
I always thought that in order to get better at catching, you stood about me to that camera away from a pitching machine and just you either catch it or you don't. So am I accurate with that statement?
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to do it. I've definitely have done that before. So
Yeah.
Does it help?
Yeah, especially it was a pretty big change for me coming from teeners to even JV, velocity I think it scares a lot of guys, especially like upcoming catchers. They think that like going from 65 to mid 80s is going to be the biggest change in the world, which it is a little bit, and it's a little bit scary your first couple years, but then you get into catching them and it becomes normal, and it slows down just from experience and getting used to it.
So I want you to go back to tweener Owen Bruner, and what were the first steps that you took as far as being able to advance your progression into being the catcher that you are now?
Well, it was really different because in like Little League, there's not a lot of work being done. Like you're not practicing nearly as much, and there's just not a lot of catcher focused or oriented stuff. So having actual coaching for catching is the biggest difference going into teeners. And so honestly, it's you're kind of starting from scratch and learning everything, and bullpens are just the biggest way you can learn is just getting in there and seeing, and then off speeds and different pitches. Also, you don't in Little League it's fastballs. You don't really throw anything else. But then you get into Legion and you got to learn movements of pitches and all the ins and outs of the game, and that's where
Fair enough. And how is it having a coach that also used to catch, to my understanding? How big of an impact has he had as far as giving you tits and tad-bits in your progression?
Oh, it's been huge, especially from Parker, but then like Carter coming in and being able to learn behind him was huge for my development, and just but Parker being there was it tripled my skills and everything in between. It was just really useful for my development.
Awesome. And you mentioned Carter Lyon multiple times throughout this episode, and one thing that I've caught on is there's almost like a tradition about being the catcher for 164, it seems like, to my opinion. I mean, your head coach used to be a catcher for the program. You got Carter Lyon, who was kind of your mentor, I guess would be the word I would say, and you taking stuff from him, and then now you have gone in, done your time through the program, have caught in over 1,000 innings. So how is it being a part of this? First, my first question is, do you feel like there's a little bit of like a catching tradition with this ball club?
Yeah, it's almost like a little bit of a culture, but I just feel like there's a lot of respect in between all the catchers of the past years, and so it's just it's a tight bond to be able to have those resources, to be able to talk to other catchers and just have that resource. But yeah, I think definitely it's a tradition for sure.
Coach, what's your opinion as far as like the catching tradition here with Post 164?
I would agree. I think there's a huge tradition. Like I can trace it back. Like I learned from Kobe Ferocki. Kobe Ferocki learned from Wade Van Dyne. Wade Van Dyne learned from Bryce Lewis, who was Brock Lewis's older brother. And then you keep going back after that. You know, there's guys like Jess Cooper. I forget who caught when Matt Kemp was playing, but once I remember that, I might. Well, I might. But like, you know, I can trace that back, and then I can start tracing it forward. And I know that, like, you know, I saw Kobe Ferocki at the 4th of July parade. You know, said, hey, you know, it's good to see him. You know, there's definitely a huge tradition, and it's just like a brotherhood. You know.
That's awesome. And of course, I guess this might be a little early to ask this question, but who's next in line, and who have you been trying to help coach up while you still can here when you're part of the program?
Walker Wiesman. He's definitely the main guy, I think, right now. Trying to get Brock back into it. He's stepped away from it a little bit, but trying to push him back towards that direction. But
he ain't gonna do it.
Yeah. But Walker definitely is a main guy right now. Just trying to give him all the knowledge I can, but it's a little tougher for him because he's playing shortstop and middle infield and pitching, so it's hard for him to get innings in, and most of the time they're JV innings, so it's kind of difficult. But
did you play any other positions throughout your baseball career, or have you been strictly catcher throughout all of it?
Definitely mainly catcher, but I've played a decent amount of outfield. I pitch. Yeah, pitch every once in a while when he lets me. But, yeah, I play outfield, and I feel like I'm pretty confident in the outfield too.
So my next question kind of goes back to when you referred to in the beginning as far as you wanted to be a pitcher but misheard your coach, and now you ended up being a catcher and a good one at that. But when you do have the rare chance to pitch, do you kind of get that feeling in the back of your head of, man, this could have been my career if it didn't go a different way? Is like, do you ever not really like regret the way you go? Not necessarily saying that, but just is there a little bug in your head that shows up like, hey, I could have made a living here on the mound instead of behind home plate?
Yeah, definitely. When I do get the chance to go up there, I do enjoy it and I have a good time, but I don't regret it at all. Pitching has it's a whole other world of pressure on you, I think. And honestly, catching, I feel so comfortable with it that I don't regret my decision at all. But when I get up there, it's kind of like I have fun with it.
Being able to catch for so many guys throughout your career, is there a few pitches that you've developed yourself that you've seen from other pitchers that have thrown at you that when you do get to step on the mound, you kind of try to use?
No. I'm a fastballs only guy. I haven't gotten the chance to develop my full potential.
Yeah, sorry.
Straight gas from Owen Bruner.
Yep.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment of the Millstone podcast, the From the Bench podcast. That's called the Millstone Minutes. So, Coach Loggs, you've been through the song and dance before already. But, Owen, for you, it's a quick 1-minute segment where you answer a series of questions. Super simple, by the way. And you're able to answer as many as possible. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it.
All right.
We will take a 30-second break, hear from our sponsor, the Millstone Family Restaurant, and come back with Owen Bruner's edition of the Millstone Minute.
Food at a fair price. That's what you expect, and that's what you'll get at the Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or to grab a bite to eat before or after the game. Choose from daily specials, and a trip to the fresh soup and salad bar is always a hit. Plus, the Millstone can accommodate larger groups, like buses or your next meeting in their private party room. So, if it's just you and a friend or the whole team, get a great meal at a great price. The Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish.
And we are back with our From the Bench podcast. Again, want to thank our friends, the Millstone Family Restaurant, for sponsoring the Millstone Minute. I keep on wanting to look at that camera, but that camera decided to take a dump on us before the beginning, so apologize if I keep looking over here. But again, back on topic, the Millstone Minute. As we talked with Bruner earlier, it's just a quick 1-minute segment. Answer a series of questions as much as you can. Very few people have actually gone through all of them, so
I'll try my best.
You could be the first. So, are you ready?
Yep.
Good, because I'm not. I got to get my phone out. Okay, well, here we go with the Millstone Minutes, starting now. Favorite food?
Tacos.
Best vacation ever taken?
Hawaii.
Best catcher in history, in your opinion?
Molina.
Who was the worst pitcher to catch with?
I don't want to throw anybody under the bus.
Fair enough. We'll go to that question later in the episode. Favorite baseball memory?
Winning tournaments.
A specific tournament?
Allington, he was in last year.
Fair enough. We're cruising through these. Road trip snack list.
The chocolate-covered pretzels.
Okay.
And like a Red Bull or something.
Nice. I respect it. Pre-game playlist. Who's on it?
Daryl Hall and John Oates.
I'll take it. MLB team.
St. Louis Cardinals.
Favorite team to play?
320.
Okay. And finally, your favorite place to play?
Right here at home.
I was going to say not right here at home, but I figured we'll get you through the questions, and you did with 1 second to spare.
Perfect.
So you have done one of the few impossible feats of actually making it through the Millstone Minute. So
Thank you.
You can add that to your collegiate resume. That's the Millstone Minutes, being brought to you by the Millstone Family Restaurant right here off Exit 12 in Spearfish. Great place to eat before or after the game, the tournament, or whatever you're in town for. If you're a tourism if you're a tourist visiting the area, you can also always check out the Millstone Family Restaurant. Great place to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or supper, wherever you call it, wherever you live. And again, thank you to our friends, the Millstone Restaurant. And I do want to get back to, let's not name names, but I want to go back to that worst pitcher to catch with. Again, don't name names, but was there ever like a series of pitches that just haunts you in your memory from your time?
Anything wild, like I don't like uncertainty. So like if I know a guy's gonna throw a pitch and he has no idea where it's going, and I don't have any idea where it's going, it's always a little bit scary. But I think it's a good thing because I can't really think of anybody that I'm like, ooh, I don't want to catch them. So
fair enough. What is I know, aside from the obvious, where's the worst spot you've been caught by a pitch?
While catching?
Yeah.
I think there's an obvious answer there.
What is that?
Taking a couple foul tips and stuff to the cup, so that's
yeah.
Outstanding. This is, again, everyone wants to grow up to be a catcher, if you couldn't tell from this episode. Actually, I just want to hear your opinion on the worst spot you've taken a pitch while you were batting, because we haven't really talked about you offensively this podcast.
I got hit in like the jaw like 3 years ago, but it didn't hurt that bad. I'd say probably like knee, ribs. Ribs hurts pretty bad.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you have like a favorite memory as far as you hitting the ball? Because like I said, we haven't discussed much of your offensive career yet, but I guess talk about some of your game as far as your mindset as far as stepping up to bat.
So like my approach?
Yeah.
Honestly, it starts from the on-deck circle, so I like to get my timing down and do all of that. I swing my bat around as much as I can to try to make it as light as I can get it. But then my approach is always just telling myself to do damage, and then it depends on who's on, where they're at, and how many outs, and what the pitcher's throwing. And I usually like to go up there thinking attack a first pitch fastball, but I'll watch what the guy's throwing, and if he's been throwing a lot of first pitch off speed, I'll sit the off speed and then adjust a fastball. But yeah, it's all dependent on who's on, what's on, the whole situation.
Awesome. Taking a little step off of baseball for the final few segments of this episode. So what's next? Assuming this is your last Legion season, and don't know if I might have just opened a can of worms with that statement, but it's your last year. I mean, you already graduated Spearfish High, so you can't go back to that I am aware of. I wouldn't want to go back to high school either. What's next as far as collegiate plans, and what do you want to do with your life?
I'm going to Wayne State College in Wayne, Nebraska. I had a couple offers to go play, but none of them just felt like right fits for me. So I'm going to Wayne, probably going to play some club ball, see if that leads to being able to play on their team. But if not, it's all right. I do have the option to play another Legion season next year if it comes to that, but a lot of rumors for now.
Well, we won't touch on next Legion season. You still got to finish out this season. But fun fact, I had family that attended Wayne State College in Wayne, Nebraska. It's a neat little spot. I've always liked it. Yeah. That was kind of the first colleges I was looking at when I was trying to play football. But you thought Spearfish was small. There's not a lot in Wayne.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of Wayne.
It's surrounded by a decent amount, so.
Yeah, they call it a suitcase college, as everyone will pack up their suitcase, go for the week, and then they'll either go home, go to Sioux City, go to Lincoln and Omaha, and they'll go anywhere else whenever there's not school. So, Again, no disrespect to Wayne, Nebraska. I happen to really enjoy the place, but it is definitely a fun place. You definitely gotta find your fun there in Wayne, within reason. But, no, that's cool. Area study you were planning on?
Business administration.
Is there anything special you want to do with your major as far as career-wise?
Yeah, I want to go into real estate, so I'll explore my options after.
Fair enough.
Might change, why not?
And I know we said we were going to take a step off of baseball. Well, guess what? We're right back. But discussing, you said maybe joining the club ball team with Wayne State to possibly be recruited. And this is something that has intrigued me for a while now, and this is the first chance I really have a chance to talk about it. But how does that work as far as being a part of a club baseball team, as far as do people treat it as serious as compared to other club sports, and does programs usually take the club team and recruit it to their actual team, or just how does that dynamic of club baseball, and how is it to you?
I believe it's still pretty competitive. They play Nebraska's club ball, and they'll go play. I think they go up to Wisconsin and maybe Michigan to play. So it's still very competitive, I think, but it's definitely more relaxed, as in like it's a club. So it's
Would you say it's, and again, no disrespect to this team at all, but would you say it's like Spearfish Sasquatch type as far as, I mean, yes, it's still competitive, but just kind of the extras along with it kind of makes it more laid back and fun, as in Spearfish Sasquatch, it's kind of a summer league for collegiate players.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be as competitive as like the Independence League, but definitely more relaxed, and definitely there's more of a fun aspect to it compared to like the team. And
you said that you had a few offers to play collegiate baseball. Is that something that you still want to pursue, as far as actually being more than a part of a club team, but actually being a part of the athletic baseball team at a college, whether that be at Wayne State? I don't even know if they have a baseball team, if I'm being honest. But as far as just being a part of a collegiate team in general?
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep my options open, but I would like to play on if that opportunity arises, I would definitely play, but yeah. Awesome.
By the way, in case you were wondering, both my parents went to Wayne State, hence why I'm saying I have family there, and I've been to Wayne multiple times. Any off-season hobbies that you like to enjoy whenever you're not training or playing baseball in the summer?
Yeah, I like to play video games. When it's nice out, I like to be outside. I go fishing every once in a while, hike, do what you can around Spearfish. It's kind of just an outdoorsy town, so your fun is what you make it, and you just go out and do stuff.
Any specific fishing spots that you care to share with us?
Got to keep them secret. But, I mean, going up to, like, Iron Creek's always good. Just got back from Canada a couple months ago. That was fun. And then creeks and rivers everywhere are always –
wherever you can find water,
yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
How was that Canada trip? Because I believe that's kind of the reason why you skipped the first episode with Aiden Meverden and Jack Branham and coach. So, in which I don't blame you. I'd much rather go fishing in Canada too compared to talking to media. So, how was that trip up in Canada?
Yeah, it was really fun. It was quite the workout. First day we paddled for probably 8 hours.
Oh man!
Just to get to our campsite, and I mean we slept on 1-inch little sleeping mats the whole week, and that part was a little bit rough, but it was a great experience, and it was really fun to be able to get out there with my dad and my grandpa and uncle and cousins. So it was a real fun experience.
That's awesome. Well, as we wrap up this episode, question for both you guys. Looking ahead, you got, I believe you're done for the rest of this week as far as Senior Legion games go. I know the JV's pretty busy for 164 this week. But next week you got multiple doubleheaders with Casper, Wyoming coming into town. Then you end the regular season taking on Aberdeen, and then you take on Watertown. So what do you want to see from the ball club as far as you as a player standpoint first, and then coach as a coaching standpoint? What do you want to see from the team as you end off the regular season?
I'd like to just play competitively for the rest of the season. I think we can take 2 against Aberdeen. Casper from I don't know how different they are from last year, but we should be able to win against them. And then Watertown, we beat them last year, but they're always a real good team, and so that one will be a battle. It's senior night that night, right? Aberdeen senior night? Okay, so that'll be good. But Watertown is they're always a good ball club, so those will be some tough games.
Coach, your thoughts?
Yeah, we see Casper. Obviously, we're focusing, pitching-wise more on Aberdeen and Watertown. That's no disrespect to Casper. That's just how, PowerPoints. We have to make sure we focus on those. So I expect to compete against Casper. I think we can definitely take 2 from Aberdeen. That'll be a fun night. That's the 100th anniversary of American Legion Baseball, as well as senior night. So, it's going to be a packed house. A lot of things going on. Hopefully a lot of people show up for that. That's going to be a fun night. And then Watertown, I like to see a split with them. I really would. We beat them last year at their park. Obviously, Watertown is really good. They're ranked number 2 in the standings right now. They're obviously at the state tournament they host. But, getting a win against them would be absolutely huge, and I definitely think we can do it.
That's awesome. Well, Coach Owen, thanks for joining the podcast. It's been an absolute honor.
Yeah, thank you.
And again, always pleasure, Coach. Anything you want to say to friends and family that might be tuning on with the podcast either live or might be rewatching it on our YouTube channel or on Facebook?
Come out and watch us. I mean, it's a lot of entertaining baseball we play. So,
yeah, always on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, there it is. This episode 24 of our From the Bench podcast with catcher Owen Bruner and head coach Parker Laux here with our From the Bench podcast. Again, shout out to our camera guy, Paula James, helping out as always with KDSJ Sports. And if you want to rewatch any of our episodes of our From the Bench podcast, you can do so on our YouTube channel at KDSJ-TV. Plus, you can rewatch episodes and stay up to date with all of the sports happenings in the Northern Black Hills with our Facebook page at Black Hills Gold Hits KDSJ. Follow us on Facebook for more information as far as future podcast episodes, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss another live sports broadcast. You can watch Bruner and company play Spearfish Post 164 baseball. You can rewatch last night's doubleheader versus Rapid City Post 320, and you can do all of that right on our YouTube channel at KDSJ-TV. It's completely free to subscribe. You'll get push notifications whether there's a video that is posted or whenever we go live. I'm your host, Clayson Davis, signing off with another episode of our From the Bench podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one.